It's like people like I have to explain this to you like a lot about cuz my like my favorite currently my favorite like word to use that I found has the like broadest application to just a multitude of just about everything in life is gaslight. The term gaslight, like the technically the term gaslight describes type of like a behavior that like a narcissist engages in that just is like on purpose. um you know it is specifically used by the narcissist on purpose to like fuck you up and make you think you're fucking crazy. They're just gaslighting the shit out of you, like lying and everything else or whatever. So like I just took it a step further and said, okay, like everything is like life. Life is a measure of gaslights. Like your whole life is basically like because you learn, you go to school, you gaslit all through that. You graduate and everything or whatever and stuff, and then you work and hone your skill at your job or whatever it is you do. Well, like the whole first part of your life is training about how to like navigate gaslighting, which is everywhere, right? Well, even that in and of itself is a fucking gaslight because when you're a child, you have no bills, no insurance, not a care in the world. All you do is play and do whatever the hell you want, and you're messing everything. Well, okay, like you should be able to do that, like whenever you're in your prime, like 18 to 30, where they just take a break and say, okay, do whatever you want, behave like a child, with no bills, we're not going to charge you shit, and have a good time and enjoy your life. They have to let you do that whenever you're like 2 and 3 and 4 years old, when you're not even going to remember the joy of being able to shit yourself and fucking sling food and mud and just do whatever the hell you want. So like, and then, of course, you graduate high school 17, 18 years old, and then they're like, so what do you want to do with the rest of your life? And that's gaslight because, you know, you go to college, and then when you're done with all that, then you realize you just spent, $100,000 and you had to do a job you hate. And then, but the gaslight, generally, at least in my experience, if it's not people gaslighting you because they're being irresponsible with their with their mind and stuff on their consciousness, it's products. So like for example, I go to get some tennis shoes or something, and then I'm in the store and I put them on and like they fit in the store, but then when you get home, they don't work. Or like in general, because part of the human condition is that it's known that the human body is asymmetrical, right? So one of your hands is bigger than the other, one of your feet's bigger than the other, so on and so forth. But they design symmetry into things like shoes, right? So we're in like, you might have an 11 and a half that fits comfortable on one foot. The 11 and a half ain't so comfortable on the other, but you can't do anything about that. That's a gaslight. Um, the like the jar that you can't open because I believe that the factory like purposefully calibrates the machine or whatever to make it too tight just so it'll gaslight your ass. Like I believe in gaslight by design that part of the nature of the system within which we participate in life is that at the upper levels of like design and stuff where all of this shit like comes out of these think tanks and stuff. Well, the think tanks are tasked to like purposefully design like small tiny little built-in gaslights, so that all of them combined together are basically to keep you enslaved and just like generally not really happy too much and stuff like that and stuff, because we live in a dystopia. and it's controlled. It's like a controlled experiment. The whole world. So gaslight is by design. For example, modern vehicles. They tout the great gas mileage and all this shit. Well, if something breaks, or goes bad, you have to have like an engineering degree to figure out how to fix the damn thing. And then, nobody in your area is qualified or knows anything about it, so you have to ride around with no air conditioner or some bullshit or whatever, because as a result, I know for a fact that it's by design now on modern vehicles that there's no space in the engine compartment for which like a normal person put their hands to repair, the thing yourself. Used to, you could change an alternator or you can get to the starter, but now they purposefully design, the inability to repair it yourself, with special sized type, screws and bolts and stuff like that, specialized tooling required to undo it and fix it and stuff and repair yourself. So, at least in automobiles, where robots are building them, where the man he's gaslit out of a job, their purpose, we know that that it is part of the design, that you can't work on it yourself. So already that it's built into the thing. So like I've asked like, my friends stuff, like think about like what good gaslight is, like Fruity Pebbles cereal. It's the most delicious, awesome cereal there is when it's crunchy. And it only stays crunchy for like 15, 20 seconds, and it turns into a soggy mess of shit. And they know that it's good when it's crunchy, because they sell it crunchy, the snack pack of whatever that you can't, not only can you not open or tear, it would pretty much take a nuclear explosion to and it wouldn't even open it. And like then so you go get the scissors and you try to cut it and the paper just fold over. That's gaslight. Let's see. The sunburn, hell, the sun itself is a giant gaslight. We live under a gaslight. We live under a giant gaslight. That's what this is. Texting in and of itself is just gaslight fucking supreme, and that's why it took off the way that it. That's why it's pushing stuff like that. It's gaslight supreme. It causes car wrecks, mass confusion. Because no emote really. You can't emote through a text. And it just stifles conversation. Everything else, and then autocorrect is a bonus gaslight where it'll insist on itself over and over and over and over again, even if you keep correcting it. But it does it right up to that point where you're about to kill yourself and break your phone and destroy everything. And then it lets you, because it knows. I'm trying to think of, they're all over this. I'm getting gaslit. Pup's gaslit right now. Shut it up. Good boy. Shh. Quiet. You gotta be quiet. You don't want to alert them of your presence. I'm about to get gaslit right now by somebody at the door. Somebody's gonna come knock on my fucking door, and they're gonna fucking gaslight me. And they're gonna be asking for fucking money or something fucking that's gonna be aggravating, and I'm gonna have to be nice, or I can gaslight them by not answering the door. But like I could go like to the blinds over there and like kind of crack them and look at them and let them know, or I could do something to let them know that I'm here, like clear my throat or something, and just not answer the motherfucker. Oh yeah, that's what it is. They come to that my doorbell doesn't fucking work, and I'm beginning to wonder if it's like blessing in disguise. You know, that reminds me. Daniel Dennett talked about this thing called the device paradigm one time. And I found it to be fascinating. Basically, I guess make a long story short, we have air conditioning in our homes. Heating and air, Well, in the past, if you wanted to have heat, you had to have a fire. In order to have fire, you had to interact with the environment. You chop wood and get all that stuff ready and everything and start a fire for your family. Well, with that work, which is gaslight, chopping down a tree, doing all that shit, and then you light it on fire. It's literally gaslight. With that work came a certain degree of satisfaction, pride, and reward. You went out and you did work. You produced a pile of wood, and you started a fire for your family, and you're enjoying the fruits of your labor. Well, now, you just go over to the wall and flip the switch, and then, it comes out. If the thing breaks, you're gaslit. So if you know how to fix it or repair it, sort of smacking the thing and hitting it or whatever, which some people are, you have to go get like a technician or somebody like that, right? So the device paradigm was simple. It's that every time we introduce like a technology or a piece of equipment or something that it takes the place of a process, we lose a bit of our humanity and sense of pride and stuff like that. We become lazy. It's man's propensity to laziness that's ultimately going to be a downfall. Because now that we have air conditioning, we can't go back to chopping down wood. So anyway, so you call the technician out to come fix the thing. Well, that's the thing, The technician is knowledgeable about the system. His knowledge about that air conditioning heating system earns him money, right? So he has decided, or she has decided, that they are going to not get gaslit by that particular problem. So skill, trade knowledge, trade skill, and stuff like that is a measure of your ability to not get gaslit on the various stages of complication as the process goes up. Jobs that pay more carry with them more opportunity to get gaslit, and not just you getting gaslit, but multitudes of people. Say like if you run like a CNC in a fabrication plant or something like that, well, you just ran a CNC with 100,000 units. You got to have skill because if the tooling's wrong or whatever, you're gonna get gaslit the fuck out the door because you just ruined 100,000 units. Fabrication have to be scrapped, or worse, your job is such that if you fuck up or whatever, you could end up in jail or whatever. Or people can so that there's a level of gaslight there. And you're paying me a gaslight in your view. You gaslit by your damn gaslight. So if you can continue moving forward through a good gaslight session, then the reward is there. You get the relief of being done getting gaslit by whatever, right? Everything's a gaslight. All of it. You got some beer in the fridge, you want a fucking beer, you can't find your bottle opener, but it just happens to be one that doesn't twist off, you have to pop it off or whatever. So if you know the trick with the lighter, well then find a lighter. But if you don't have a light, you see what I mean? It's like there's a whole level of gaslight within each individual everything that you see. A can of soda, it might bust you in the face. You don't want to drop it. You bought the 12-pack. 2 of them were already busted. It leaked all over the back of your vehicle. It's everywhere. So, that's what I mean, gaslight. That's why I thought I'd explain that. Take care. Hey, leave in the comments if you got some good gaslights. I'm interested.